Officers are requested to please take seats on the aisle. Terrace पे बैठ जाइए please. Due to shortage of space, we are requesting you.
नमस्कार मैम। Big wedding. Okay. But yes, others protocols wedding you can do protocols. Yeah, and again. So this auditorium is also starting with
Awardee and a great philanthropist, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mr. Redove, respected Dean University Instruction, Professor Udaya Sethi, dear colleagues from teaching and administration, and students, a very good evening. We are indeed blessed with the august presence of Dr. Sudha Murty ji, whom we are honoring in the convocation tomorrow with the Doctor of Literature on this program. She has kindly agreed to have an interactive session with us. Her strong involvement in the social work for women's empowerment, education, public health and public hygiene is a testament to her high moral standards and ethical orientation. In fact, all the three ladies who will be sharing their views from the dais are perfect role models for us, having excelled in their chosen field with perseverance, dedication and hard work. There is a common underlying factor which binds these three stalwarts sitting on the stage. All of them have been gold medalists throughout their academic pursuits. I request Professor Redove, our dynamic Vice Chancellor, to felicitate our honorable guest with a bouquet, with a painting, a handmade painting of Gandhi Bhavan and a fulkari. Professor Redove, our enduring Vice Chancellor, is a true champion and torchbearer, carrying forward the great legacy of our academic leaders, being administrator of exceptional merit. I would request our revered Vice Chancellor to formally welcome Dr. Sudha Murty.
Dr. Sudha Murty, Dean University Instruction, Professor Anju Suri, Professor Anupma Sharma, other faculty members present here, and students. we never expected this kind of response, otherwise we would have arranged this interaction in a bigger auditorium. So, you know, throughout my life, whenever I got opportunity to speak on Women International Day, many a times I have quoted example of Mrs. Sudha Murty, that, you know, when she was doing engineering, she was never interviewed on the campus by telco because they had this policy, no females. But then she was the first female engineer to be hired by telco. And since then scenario has changed a lot. Nowadays we have approximately 30% females in engineering colleges. My journey with Infosys has been very long. I undertook a sabbatical project for 6 weeks at Infosys Technologies Limited at Mohali campus. Now it is shifted to IT Park, but earlier it was situated in Mohali, and I spent 6 weeks there. I was working with a team that was, involved in testing of functionality of a software. And we worked on some metrics which they were using to test the functionality of the software, and we were trying to improve upon the metrics, or we were trying to use some additional metrics so that the performance would be improved. And this opportunity of undertaking sabbatical project at Infosys I got because we had a MOU with Infosys under the Campus Connect initiative that Infosys has taken, under which they have signed MOU with many educational institutions, and the objective was to make these students employable so that they are industry ready when they graduate. And initially under the Campus Connect initiative, conclaves were also organized at Mysore campus of Infosys Technologies. I attended the conclave also at Mysore, and directors and principals of various engineering institutes were there. I remember AICT chairman was also there, because there we were trying to figure out how we can have uniform curriculum across all engineering colleges in India. Subsequently, AICT has come up with its model curriculum, which is basically the minimum standard AICT expects every engineering college to follow. But this idea that we should have uniformity in curriculum, it was originated through this Campus Connect initiative, because the company felt that when they are hiring the engineers from different colleges in India, although they organize a 6 months training program, but then some base level of all the colleges should be same, so that the training program which is organized can be same for all the students which are hired to be professionals in the company. So while I was there at Infosys campus, we met many students or many engineers who were working at Infosys Technologies at Mysore, and everybody was in awe, because I think at that time there were not many companies where the infrastructure met international standards. So that was the first thing that came to your mind when you were staying at the Mysore campus, that here is a campus which meets international standards. So I think that is the trend which was started by this company in India, that we had a company, infrastructure of which was of the international standards. Besides that, I was also the single point of contact for Campus Connect initiative, and I have been going to the Chandigarh IT Park campus of Infosys Technologies also for attending meetings that are organized regularly, so that the gap between industry and academia can be minimized. So this was my interaction with the Infosys during my career. And then when I became Vice Chancellor, many people have asked me, who is my role model? So, you know, when people ask me, then I ask myself that, do I have a role model? And the answer I got was that my parents are, you know, my role model because they had led a very disciplined, hard life and they were both very honest people. And I firmly believe that you get your value system from your family. But then, you know, if I appreciate some celebrity, then Dr. Sudha Murty is definitely one of them. And it is my privilege that we are hosting her today at Punjab University campus. You all know that her simplicity, down-to-earth approach and straightforward answers are appreciated by everybody. So we are thankful, ma'am, for accepting our invitation to be here. And I'm sure that the relationship we already have with Infosys will be even strengthened further due to your visit here. Although, you know, when she called, when we were talking on the phone, she strictly told me that, you know, we are not going to discuss anything about the relationship with Infosys. Thank you, ma'am, for coming here. I welcome you again and wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am, for your kind words. I deem it my proud privilege to introduce the legendary Dr. Sudha Murty ji, founder, Infosys Foundation, and Chairperson, Murty Foundation. With an aim to empower as many as possible, her unrelenting efforts to spread awareness about rural hygiene, education, cleanliness have garnered global recognition and appreciation. A writer, a philanthropist, entrepreneur, she is greatly revered for facilitating the education of poor children and being one of the brains behind social initiative, Infosys Foundation. A prolific writer in English and Kannada, her books have been translated into all major Indian languages and have sold over 26 lakh copies. She's a columnist for English and Kannada dailies with 42 books and more than 200 titles to her credit, including novels, non-fiction, children's books, travelogues, technical books and memoirs. Her book advocates her philosophical views on charity, hospitality, normal life and life realization. How I Taught My Grandmother to Read is one of her most celebrated works, having been translated into 15 languages. She has received 9 honorary doctorates. Some of her accolades include the Padma Bhushan in 2023, Padma Shri in 2006, R.K. Narayan Award for Literature in the Atmabe Award from the Government of Kannada for Excellence in Kannada Literature and Lifetime Achievement for Crossbook Book Award in 2018. She lives by the belief that generosity of a few is hope of millions. Her strong commitment to education led her to establish more than 70,000 libraries and providing computers in all government schools in Karnataka. Sudha Murty's persistent efforts at contributing to the empowerment of society have made her a brand name and a role model for all of us. She is so down to earth that every woman sitting in the audience today, I can bet, can identify herself with Sudhaji. Our enigmatic Dean University Instructions, Professor Rumina Sethi ji, is herself a highly decorated professor of literature. She has been Rockefeller Foundation Fellow and has taught at University of Oxford and Trinity College, Cambridge, as well as Cardiff University. She will be conversing with Dr. Sudha Murty ji. Ma'am, over to you.
Dr. Sudha Murty ji, when we were preparing this board, which you can see on the rear wall of the auditorium, and it was written on it: social worker, author, educator, and philanthropist. The one term that I missed out was the term feminist. Because when we heard that you had consented to meet up with the faculty, a lot of people came up to me and said, "We have watched the Kapil Sharma show." And I can guarantee that at least all the women who are sitting in this show have a special connection with you because of some of the marvelous things that you spoke very candidly about Shri and Murty, your husband. And you put everybody at ease immediately when you said that he and I are poles apart. And the reason that we have such a marvelous relationship is because we spend time on our travel so much that we end up meeting very little. But you also said that opposite poles attract. So behind this very humorous remark, we all agreed that there is this great bond that exists between both of you. Because you are not only marriage partners, you are also business partners. And I must confess that when we got to know that you were coming over here, I read even more avidly, because I've already read some of your works, but I read 3,000 Stitches. And I found out that at a very early age, there was this feminist streak in you which was very visible. And I read about the manner in which you tried to eradicate the Devdasi Pratha from your state of Karnataka. And you were very forthright and quick about it, whereas your father taught you how to take it easy. And ultimately you followed the roadmap that he laid out for you and you succeeded. Also the way in which you tackled Jamshedji Tata when you took up your first job at Telco. J.R.D. Tata, I stand corrected, and at the bottom of the advertisement was written that it was a job that was meant only for men. Women need not apply. Women need not apply. But she wrote him a postcard and was selected on the spot when he asked to meet her. I have read how you taught your grandmother to read. One of the stories which is extremely touching, which is autobiographical to a very large extent, because you speak of the way in which a 12-year-old teaches a 62-year-old grandmother how to read. And the grandmother says all the time, "I want to be independent." What struck me particularly was that the grandmother repeatedly says, "I want to be independent." That there is no age gap when it comes to learning. And ultimately when she learns how to read, she touches the feet of her 12-year-old granddaughter. Because the granddaughter becomes her guru, she says. And I'm reminded of another very interesting story which parallels yours, though it's older than this one, of a 19th century woman of Bengal called Sundari Devi, who also had a very similar desire to learn how to read. Because married at a very early age, she later on picks up the Bengali alphabet from the notebook of her son and inscribes the alphabet secretly on the kitchen walls, because that is her domain, with a piece of charcoal. Ultimately, Rasundari Devi writes her autobiography. So these are similar ways of inspiration. What really inspired me and motivated me was the journey of your childhood. You went to a college which was full of boys. And Dr. Sudha Murty happened to be the only woman amongst 149 boys. And though we can speak about it today, she speaks about it laughingly today. Sudha ma'am speaks about the way in which the boys tormented her. I find it very funny now, but it must be extremely difficult for you then. Because at that time, there was a film, Teesri Kasam, in which Raj Kapoor was starring. And with Wahida Rahman. And the boys used to sing, "Sajan re jhoot mat bolo, Sudha ke paas jana." you obtained your degree, even though there wasn't a single women's toilet in that college. So here we have such an extremely remarkable woman who has managed to survive the odds. You know, some of the stories that I read about her were so enthralling that I smiled to myself. But it must have been exceedingly difficult for a young girl at the time to be able to, you know, go through with all those problems and yet to obtain the degree in engineering, which was regarded as a man's domain. Ma'am, you must know that our Vice Chancellor is also an engineer. She has been heading, as a woman, the Institute of Technology and Engineering and is the first woman Vice Chancellor of the country. So indeed we have many women sitting here today who have motivated us. But let me stop now. I want a conversation, and this is not a conversation between me and Sudha Murty. This is a conversation between all of us and Sudha Murty. But I will just set the ball rolling by asking her the first question. May I take that privilege? I read about you that there was a journalist who said, you are a storyteller. You just write the story and the language will fall into place. I want to ask you that how does a person who is qualified in engineering, who is a computer scientist, manage to write so prolifically in about literature, writing children's books and other novels? How did you move from your field to the field of writing and literature?
Good evening to everyone. Actually, when someone talks about me, I put my mind off because I won't remember what I have done. I only know what I have to do. It's nice to come to an university because I come from a teacher's family. And for me, teaching means a great job, an important job, and sacred job. So I'm very happy to come and address all of you. It's a notion that engineers cannot write. That's not true. On a lighter side, I can say both parts of the brain has developed equally well. It's on a lighter side. But on the contrary, I have noticed people from different walks of life, different experience or different area of work, they write better because that kind of experience is not written in any other language. In my case, I used to write. From the childhood, I used to write. I don't want to talk much about me. You have seen Kapil Sharma show a lot more than what I can do. But it was more of Hasi Mazak actually. So I want to touch this serious topic that how people can write and what is that writing means. As a kid, as a child, I used to write. Okay, I used to write a good essay. My mother was a school teacher. And if you have a teacher at home and teacher in the school, life is hard. Punishment both sides. So my mother, whenever, we were not very rich people, we were middle class people. My father was a doctor and we were 3 daughters and a son. So we never went to Singapore, Malaysia or Europe for a holiday. We went for nearby places, like in Karnataka where we stayed about 100 kilometers here and there. We used to take us on a holiday and come back and my mother would tell, you write, and 25 lines, and I would say no. Then she said, okay, no food, and there is a normal fight. And I started writing more because of the food. I used to love food, you know. And later it became my habit, so I started writing in Kannada, which is my mother tongue, which is 2000 years old language. And I studied in Kannada medium, that means physics, chemistry, mathematics, everything in Kannada. Rasayana Shastra, Bhauta Shastra, Jiva Shastra, that kind. And then I did my engineering. So, once, T.J. George, who is a very famous senior editor of Indian Express, he told me, why can't you write in English? You have a lot of experience. I said, George, I can't write in English, only I can do mathematical equations in English, formulas in English, but writing a column in a newspaper like Indian Express is a quite serious job. and I can't do it. I will do only Kannada. He said, you are a storyteller. The vehicle may be different. For example, you may get a horse, you may get a donkey, or you may get a chariot, you may get a scooter, or you may get a car or a truck, whatever it is. But the person who drives is important. And in your case, the story which is important, language is more far. At the age of 52, actually I wrote, 51 I wrote, my first English book came out when I was 52 years old. So I want to tell all people here, particularly women I want to tell, you have tremendous potential. You are not aware of your potential. You always think, oh, I can't do this. My husband didn't say it. People will not like it. What neighbors will think. What someone will think. What children will think. No. Let them think what they think. You have tremendous potential and you are not unleashed it. Probably you have unleashed only 10% of it. Women are born managers. Please remember, you are born managers. You are smartest person. When my father was a gynecologist, okay, my sister is a gynecologist. So they used to discuss at home, the child is born, they will tell, oh, it's a male or a female. We look in a different angle, it's a male important, female not important, not that way. They used to discuss if it is a male and its health is delicate, they were worried. When the child is born, if the male is delicate, not well, they will worry. If it is a female, my dad said, if it is a female, she will survive, don't worry. That means female has so much good structure which is given by God. What we miss in real life is unleashing or expanding our mind. We limit it to kitchen. Oh, I'm a good cook or I'm a housewife, I can't do. No, you can do A plus B plus C, but you should know about your capacity. And try it out. At the most, you may not do. Try it out. Don't worry about failures. Many things I tried, particularly cooking. I tried on my husband. That's the reason he never put on weight. So I realized that I have a potential to write, and I can write in English provided if somebody guides me. And the very first time I wrote it was at 2001, November 12th, first time I wrote my column, and that came in the newspaper. And after that, 2002 to 2023, I have 42 books in English. And I have sold more than 35 lakh books, only English alone, apart from my books are sold in Kannada, Marathi, Hindi, etc. So, when I changed my language A to B, my story did not change. My story remained the same. And I realized what children miss in India. Most children go to English medium school in the city. Even in the village they want English medium school, but the quality of English will not be good. But they will not have Indian English authors who can occupy that space and connect them to roots. I was talking to ma'am, your English professor, I was telling her, like Edith Blyton you read. Okay, English medium school, you read Edith Blyton. When you read Edith Blyton, famous five of them will go to cave, they go for excursion. In Indian scenario, I would send my daughter with other 4 boys just to go and see the cave. No, I said no. I'm sure all mothers will agree here. So in Indian scenario, those structures will not correlate. What we do, Indians, when you have children at home, when the holiday comes, you send them to Nana Nani or Dada Dadi's house or neighbor's house, or engage them in some activity, summer school, something which is part of our culture. And that I felt it is never represented in India, in English medium, non-detailed text. It is not there. So I just entered in that field. I said, okay, what happens? And I actually recreated. When you get a holiday, you go to Nana Nani's house. And what do? You will help your Nani. And you will talk to your Nana, you talk to your Dadi. And then every day she will tell a story. And this clicked very well. So I have grandmother's batch of stories. COVID time I wrote grandparents' batch of stories, and next year it became grandpa's batch of stories. Second thing, the structure of family has changed now. Olden days, Dada, Dadi, father, mother, all will stay in the same house. Today it's not true. One is job opportunity. Second, mindset also. Okay, mindset also is changed. There's nothing right or wrong in that. So Nana, Nani and Dada, Dadi are in some place and children are in another place, parents are in the third place. Modern Nana, Nani and Dada, particularly Nani and Dadi are very busy with the Hindi series on, particularly Ekta Kapoor series and all that. So they should not be disturbed between 7 to 9. So they say, okay, mother is very busy because she also works in a software company with her husband most of the time. And she comes back, she's tired. She says the child will come to her. She says, Beta, I will buy you a Nintendo, I will buy you a game. You just give me 10 minutes. And tell them to come 2 hours. So children do not get that kind of time to spend with elders and parents for various reasons. I am not telling right or wrong, the reality I am telling you. Then who will tell children that you should tell truth, and truth has a lot of weight. You should not be lazy. If you are lazy, then what happens? You should not be jealous. What happens if you are jealous? Who will tell? Nobody will be able to tell. So the best way is create a story which tells, look, if you are jealous on someone's success, how it will affect you. If you are not telling truth, how will you end up? So I created this atmosphere that children can read such stories which can give them the good values of life, which I consider good. And that's the only essay I have. So everyone, I will tell you, somebody asked me, Sudha, you are quite funny. I said, why? I am quite funny. That sort of, I always enjoy humor. It's very difficult to write humor. It is easy to write, I told Kapil Sharma, it's very easy to write sad ending, very easy. But writing humor, entertaining people, particularly children, or what children like, children like always Miser story. And there are only 3 or 4 Miser stories, not more than that. Then, I had a lot of research on that. It's very difficult to write Miser stories, but they always love that. So someone said, Sudha, you are very funny. I said, why? Because all incidents only happen to you. And you write all those things. Why does it happen to us? I said, no, it is not true. It happens to everyone in this hall, whoever sitting. You have your own experience. Some are funny, some are serious, some are sad, some are joyful. All are there. But you don't write it. Write it. You don't remember it and write it. Oh, it's okay. So everybody has such experiences, but very few people can write it. Okay. Many of my friends have come and told me, Sudha, I can't write. For example, freedom of speech. That is one article I wrote. It's not mine. It's my friend's. She came and told me, I can't write. I have this experience. I will share with you. You change the name, but you should write. So that many of the experiences are really true, but maybe but they come and tell me. And they tell me, change the name and use it. It is not that I peep in somebody's life and I write. No, it don't happen at all. And many of my students come back and tell me, ma'am, by the way, I was a computer science teacher, part-time for a long time. Okay. I always enjoyed teaching. Once Narayan Murty asked me, I meet all big people in industry, Bill Gates, big presidents, etc. I don't meet actually, he meets. And with all those things, you are happier than me. Tell me why. I said, it's very simple. When you meet big people, you have something in your mind, business transactions, how my company will be benefited. Will I get a contract? All those things will be there. For me, I'm a teacher. When I meet my students, and I may be older than them, but my frequency matches with them and I enjoy with them. Because I meet younger people, I'm always entertained. And that's the reason I enjoy teaching. I enjoy teaching, and it was very difficult. When I became more irregular than my own students, then I stopped it because my workload was very high. So what I want to tell you is that please understand that you can do anything in life. You can change anything. And my students come back and tell their own experience, and ma'am, will you write for us? Like Lazy Portado, if anybody has read here, Lazy Portado. One of my students, Lazy Portado and Vishnu's story are the real stories. When he was lazy in college, Portado came and met me in Dubai and told me, Sudha, you should write my story with my name. So that people should understand, when I was a student, I was very lazy, what a price I paid in my real life. No, and you should make youngsters to understand what habits you have as a student. If you don't change, even though you may be very bright, you may be well connected, but you will not do well in life. Many people think if you have a lot of connection, you do well in life. No. If you have hard-working habits and you are very sincere in job, then you can do well in life. And Potato told me, you must tell this to others. Vishnu, my student, told me, ma'am, you must tell to your audience when you meet, because everyone knows that I meet youngsters. Please tell them, all youngsters, you tell them that in life, earning money is not the only thing. Along with money, if there is no compassion, life will become so difficult. Please tell them when they are youngsters. So people come and tell me their experience. I write my own experience. My canvas is very large because when I was a teacher, my canvas was small. Now I do social work and author, so my canvas has become very large. I meet youngsters, I meet old people, I meet politicians, I meet film actors, I meet Kapil Sharma and many more people. So I can write much better and the width is more. That's the reason I could touch people's lives. Now you can ask questions, I will try to answer. But please do not ask this question that when I and Narayan Murty, before my marriage, we went out, who paid the bill? I paid the bill because my husband did not have money. So leaving that question, any question you can ask, I will ask.
So please raise your hand, those who want to ask questions. One thing I am sure is that the reason that humor is successful is because you are also very honest along with that. People usually hide behind the cloak of diplomacy, which you don't.
No. And second thing, I make a lot of fun actually with my husband, and I always ask him, is it hurting you? He said, I don't have sense of humor, you have, please do a lot more jokes on me. No problem. Behind every successful woman, there's always an understanding father. When she is not married, after marriage, understanding husband.
Who wants to ask the next question? Yes, please.
It's the direct question, no exaggeration, not my
After the mic.
Ma'am, I would
direct question,
yeah,
and not exaggerating things like you like fantastic. No, don't do that. Only question.
we would just request you to give us some parenting tips, because not only we bring up our own children, but we are also teaching, so that is also kind of parenting. So please give us something that how
I think you are not seeing YouTube. I have too much parenting. I have too much parenting because somebody else's children you can do a lot of parenting tips. Okay. Your own children will be hard. No, they have become difficult now and change. Not difficult, I should not say. Once I was in Egypt, I went to see the Memphis pyramid, 7,000 years old. And I took one translator with me and I showed him something was written in hieroglyphy. Tell me what it is written. He said, next generation is very difficult, they are arrogant, they are lazy, they don't get up in the morning, all those things. I said, wait a minute, somebody has talked to me like that. Then I remembered every generation blames next generation. Easy to think. Days are different now because number of children are less. Second thing, both parents are working, so money is not a problem. Third one is, exposure is very high. There's internet, okay? So it happens only in America, is not true, it happens in India also. So bringing up children today requires a different yardstick than what my parents did or my grandparents did. Today you have to be very friendly with your children first. And they should understand that in case they make any mistake, they should come and tell you, not your neighbor should tell you. That kind of a confidence you have to develop with children. Tell children, don't do wrong things. In case it happens, come and tell me. If possible, let us correct it. I'll be with you. So you have to give strength to children. Even students, I was a very popular teacher. I was very popular because one is my subject was easy. Okay. Second thing is, in 1 hour teaching, 1 hour class, how many hours you get? How many minutes you get? 45 or 1 hour? 1 hour. You will get 1 hour. 1 hour, 45 minutes I will teach. Remaining for 15 minutes, I will have story session. I will always have story sessions. Of this subject only. My students have done very well, they have become entrepreneurs and all. So I meet them and they meet me more often. I ask them, tell me, I taught you C++, Java, this, that. What do you remember? They say, none of them, ma'am. We remember only your story. So I never was bad at teacher. As a teacher, I consider all students as my own children. When they will tell lie, I will scold them. For example, they say, Ma'am, I can't come to the class. I said, why? Grandmother died. I said, how many times? How do you know? I said, I know all of this. Yes. You don't want to attend the class? No problem. I will give you attendance. I used to do that. I will give attendance. People who would like to stay in the class, stay. Otherwise, you can go. Be honest with them. And it really doesn't matter. If their mind is not there, I don't want to go there. And my other administrative colleagues said, Sudha, that is not correct. I said, no, that is correct for me. If the mind is not there, let them know. And if they ask any question, if I do not know, I always told them, but your knowledge is better than mine. But I have more grey hair. Grey hair indicates a lot of patience, experience. Experience is the best teacher, but expensive teacher. So I have my expensive teacher. So what I can tell you is my experience. If I do not know, I said, I do not know. Tomorrow I will study and come back and tell you. Don't lie to me. Nobody is a great teacher. Those days have gone. Writing notes, okay? All of them will sit and listen to you. No. Today it's more of a conversation, more of a discussion, more of a disagreement, and still you should respect them. No, I am the teacher, I know everything. No. So, bring confidence with your children by telling truth and prepare them. If you don't prepare, don't go to class. For every class I used to take 3 hours. My brother, the professor at Caltech, he told me, for every class I prepare 7 hours. I said, why so much? He said, by preparing, I'll come to know the new ideas. Actually, he's the one who got Shanti Sarup Bhatnagar Award. So I remember, so a good teacher should prepare and go. I'm sure all teachers will agree. Not that, I remember something. You Shakespeare must have read long back. But when you teach Shakespeare, you should know contemporary people at that time. The depth of the story, the way he plotted the drama, equivalent of that maybe in other language, maybe what is in Sanskrit similar to that. All those things you should talk. Otherwise, everybody will read Hamlet on Wikipedia. So, you should prepare and go to the class. You should allow students to ask questions. When you are wrong, accept it. This is what I did as a teacher. As a parent, I walk the talk. I said, Beta, you should not see too much TV. Then I said, okay, I will also not see. Let's not have TV connection. I will see TV, you should not see, that will not work. Or I will do WhatsApp, you should not go there, I will not have phone, you will not have. So, you have to walk the talk. You want your children to study, you also sit and study with them. Okay? Read something. So there are many things are there, but children look at you and walk the talk. And that you should do. Then only you get respect. Then only children will listen. Maybe students or maybe your own children. They listen when you are honest and you are sincere in your life. Otherwise nobody respects you.
There was someone here who wants to ask a question.
Hello. Hello, Mama. I'm Amneet Gill. I'm teaching history and I'm also an author as well. I'm really impressed with your equilibrium, your equanimity. I mean, for a person like me, I try to push myself every day to excel, every day to reach this perfect state of mind, health, as well as this outlook. I don't know, we are all entrapped in this opulence, in this bling-bling sort of a zone. How is it that you are able to obtain and you are able to attain what you have attained? Because every day I fall in this vicious, it's like a vicious circle every day. Though I think almost everybody, they end up telling me that you are doing very well. But somehow I'm not really able to attain that perfect sort of that equanimity that you have. Please give me a few tips on that.
Well, I'm 72 years old. What I know? Please sit down. When I used to teach now, I used to make all my students to sit first and then scold them. So that they should be comfortable with what I'm scolding, they also should listen properly. Okay. It takes a lot of time. It is not like one day show. It is like a tapas. And it won't come in one day. And the younger you are, it is difficult to come. older you are, you start accepting things, what happens in life. Like when you are young, suppose you get a second class, you feel really educated. When you are old, suppose you don't get anything, it doesn't matter. Because life teaches you a lot in life. Accept failures, accept reality. So it takes time. It is not like I became like this from the day one. I'm not Buddha, I'm not Mahavira, I'm not Guru Nanak, I'm an ordinary person. It took long time for me to understand what is life. And I saw many incidents in my life. For example, I worked in tsunami. Dead bodies were lying, one hand is missing, somewhere one leg is missing. You see death in front of you. And I stood there for many hours and said, what is life? That's all life. What is life? When you see the most difficult situation in life, your real philosophy comes, or the life teaches you that. It is not money. The compassion is most important. It is not the rank. It is not the achievement. How much happy you are inside is the real happy. But it takes time. It is not one day. And perfection, there is nothing like perfection in life. There is a very famous saying, nothing is perfect in life. Like, for example, Yamuna was supposed to be very perfect river, but there was a Kali in that. Okay? There is a Sarpa or the serpent. Okay? Then Saraswati was supposed to be very good looking, but she had a lot of black hair here. It goes on telling everybody else. Sri Rama's life was very perfect, but Sita Parityaga became a black market. There is nothing like perfect. It is more of your imagination. There is no perfect husband. For that perfect husband, you are not a perfect wife. Okay? There is no perfect husband because he is a human being. There is no perfect wife because she is a human being. Accept the reality. That is very important. And mind does not accept the reality. Suppose you get less marks in the examination and say, question paper was not good. Very tough. Valuation was very strict. Oh, bad luck, that chapter I left and test comes. Nothing of that. Your knowledge was inadequate to answer that. And that is very difficult to accept when you are here. But people do that, and if you exercise, you can accept. Accept the reality. And then maximize what you can do with that. That's what principle I follow. For example, I did my degree very well. I got good marks, I got good salary. But when I left everything and looked after children, and I did my part-time teaching, people used to make fun of me. What is the use of doing MTech and becoming a part-time teacher in a BSc college, not even a PhD level? I said, given set of circumstances, my husband traveled 280 days in a year, to build info. And there are two small children at home. Suppose I take a big job and go, then what will happen to children? And I believed in, mother gives a good education in initiative. So in given set of circumstances, what can I do? I said, okay, in given set of circumstances, I'll take a part-time job, teach between 9 and 12 when my son was in school 9 and 12. My son never realized I was a teacher. Then he went to high school and I taught till 9 and 12. Adjusted my life according to my priorities. In the process, I lost my career. Okay, technical career, I want to tell you. But I said, what is my aim in life? Define your aim in life. Given set of circumstances which are beyond you. Okay? What best you can do and do that, you will be happy. I always felt, look, this is the circumstance. This is my aim. Oh, and given set of circumstances, how will I match as much as possible? I match and work for it. The rest you say, this is what I can do. As a human being, I can do. This was very useful to me in life, in most difficult situations. People always mistake, Sudha Murty is always successful, better. Most successful people have a lot of difficulties. Through society, through people, through demands, and unusual demands. I'll give us glimpses of my life. Somebody yesterday sent me an email. I want to surprise my wife for her birthday. I don't even know who is that person. I want to surprise my wife for her birthday. Will you drop in to my house with a bouquet? What expectation? I don't buy a bouquet to my husband on his birthday because it falls one day apart. I said, why waste money? My bouquet only I can give. Someone says, my daughter wants to speak to you. I said, I don't know your daughter. 5 years kid. What will I talk to her? Hi beta, what's your name? Bye. No, because for him, the daughter should talk to me. Look at the unusual demand. Once I was in a hotel, on my work, I was somewhere in a hotel. 1:30 in the night, somebody was banging my door. I got up and I thought something had happened in my house. Then they would have called me. Fortunately, now I have cell phones. I saw cell phones, there was no missing call. Then I thought maybe aag lag gaya. Hotel ko, maybe somebody is telling me to get out. Then I put the latch and I just, there are parents with a small kid there, 5 years old. I said, what has happened? Any medical emergency? I'm not a doctor. He said, no, she's a very precious baby. All parents, every child is a precious. It was a very precious baby. Then I thought maybe IVF. Very precious baby. We will never discourage her for anything. What she wants, we always get it. So 1:30 in the night, I said, what she wants? She said, I want to meet Sudha Murty, granny, nani. And I want to talk to her, then I will sleep. And we told her something and she said, no, I have to talk to her, then you never sleep. So I woke her. I said, she is very precious to you. I definitely agree. But for me, sleeping is also equally precious. So, when people look at your life, people think, oh, your life is the best. I have my own set of difficulties. How to solve that one? There is no point in go on telling people or go on complaining. Given set of circumstances, what you can do the best. Close the door, put the latch and sleep. So all of you, what I advise, we have dreams, we have difficulties, and there is nothing perfect. So in that situation, work hard, what you get is God's wish. Then it will be very happy. Thank you.
Someone can give a mic.
I prefer people in the back because they will never get a chance. And one of the back person in older days.
Okay, ma'am, so my question is to you is that earlier there was a interaction with the generations based on questions. So if I'm audible to you, ma'am?
But I prefer it.
Okay, so earlier the equation was in the generations based on questions. As you said, your grandmother had questions for you, right? Now the chat GPT, AI is breaking that gap. Now what is the reset for the new equations?
It is not immediately possible and not immediate answer also because the whole situation has changed. With the chat etc. things are quite scary at times even for me. But with all those things I will let it. I always believe that with all chat etc. still human touch, compassion and talking to someone is very important. For example, someone dies. You put your chat, don't worry, it's happening part of life. God will come. Don't worry, please get up, go on moving. Next to the funeral arrangement, etc. You will get the answer. But if someone comes and hugs you and says, Sardarji, don't worry. I also lost my father. Okay, don't worry. Be happy here. We should celebrate his life because he lived up to 90 years, 80 years, whatever it is. Someone wipes your tears. Don't you feel it is much better than AI or chat? The human touch is very important. Sitting at home and doing work from home, it has started now for the last 3 years. My driver said, ma'am, everybody is working from home. I said, yes, I will also work from home. I said, why? He said, anyway, you don't go out because you are working from home. I will also work from home. In a way, logically he was right, but practically it is not correct. Somehow I managed him, but my chowkidar said, I work from home. I said, how? I put, he said, I put CCTV, I will sit at home and I will look at it. So, all these things are fine, but human touch, a human mind and talking to someone, sharing your difficulties, particularly when you are in difficulties, when you are down, it means a lot. That's the reason I say you should have a balance of life. Like how you go, I always say this, when you go to a restaurant, I don't know what is in Punjab, because you have a large heart and good food. You go to any state in other state of India, you order for a thali. Actually, I want to see what is in Punjabi thali one day. If you order a thali, you get a thali meal. You have rice, you have 2 puris or 2 chapati, you have sabji, dessert, rasam, sambar, dahi, or whatever, then you will get it. Why all those things? Because it's a balanced meal. I like rice, only rice you will not be able to eat. I like chapati, only chapati you can't eat without sabji. So when you eat everything proportional to your life, your stomach is full, and so is life. You should have technology, which is rice, and you should have good finance like a chapati or roti or whatever, and puri. Then you should have small things like compassion, care for others. Help people when they are in difficulties. Okay. Be nice to others. There are so many others. Be nice to animals first. So that all makes a normal human being. If you want to live normal way, you should have technology, but balancing act is equally important. Technology alone cannot make your life. If technology makes life, then you don't want to have children, because you have a computer answer all your questions and answers. What do you require? But when your child is there, the child falls, the child grows, the child gets upset. You want to see all those things. So nature is more powerful than technology. Technology is a must, but it is not all that powerful than nature. This is what I feel at this stage. Thank you. You choose.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Without mic, no problem. Good evening.
There is a mic.
You talked about changing habits and the success. Would you please tell me which change of habit brought accrue maximum success to your life?
To me, personally?
Yes. To you and for the audience.
Audience, I do not know what they want.
Okay, let it be you.
Then my youngsters would like to go for a disco. No, at their age I would have done. Okay. But my age, my method is, with my experience, with my set of difficulties or happiness, I can tell that. Helping others has brought me a great happiness in life. A lot of happiness. Then it was a share price or the well-thought paper write about me all the time, how much I was worth of, all those things. None of them impressed me. Or any award, reward, no. Helping others. Like, I was working with a platform children, separated from parents. And we work very hard to get parents unite with the children. And then the mother cried when she hugs her child who is lost. I will be sitting on the platform, on a bench. I don't talk anything, I just look at it and I feel so happy. And we help people who are women who go to Middle East and they are ill-treated and they run away from there and they come to a shelter and we give them a return ticket one way. And when they come to India, they write me a letter. I feel very happy because if they don't come to India, they can't stay there for longer duration. So there are many, many incidents where we touch people's lives and particularly help them when they are so helpless. I really don't worry about rich people. I don't have to do anything. Rich kids, I don't have to do anything. But with helpless people, when I help, it gives me enormous happiness.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Kavita Thakur and I'm a mechanical engineer. And 25 years back, I did my engineering. I faced the same NIT Hamirpur. At that time, it was REC Hamirpur.
Manipur.
No, Hamirpur, and it's in Himachal Pradesh. So at that time, I faced the same difficulties. The companies used to come for placement, and they used to tell me, "We will not take you." But it is our. I asked them, "Why are you doing this? Why are you taking my interview?" So they said, "We are taking this because it's a social responsibility that we have to take. We can't refuse that. We will not take interviews of girls." And similarly, when I went for my training, they said, "If you had not come from the upper channel, we would not have taken you for the training here." So these difficulties I faced, and when I learned about you, and you became my role model. So, ma'am, what motivated you to write that letter to J.R.D. Tata?
I was 23 years old when I wrote. Okay. By birth, I think I am bold. Bold in the right sense. Okay. I said, what will happen? Worst thing, I always think, whenever I do any bold decision, I always think what will happen, the worst, be ready. The best design for an engineer is the worst the best design is the under worst circumstances. What you design is the best design. That's the way how you define. Like, take the extreme limits, then you design, but it won't happen. Or it may happen. I said, okay, I'll write to Tata. What the most they will say, look at this girl, arrogance, why she should write. Then what will you do? Okay, they accept it, he wrote like that. Okay, when I married Narayan Murty, he did not have a job. That's a bold decision. You are in a good job, your husband doesn't have a job. I said, okay, what happened? Worst thing, you will not have a job. It doesn't matter. Between two of us, one has to work. I will do that. I always think of the worst situation in life and accept it. As 23 years young girl, I said, someone should tell Tatas. The top man may not know what's happening at the bottom. And I said, I must tell that. Worst is they will say, you are an arrogant girl. I'll accept it. Though I'm not arrogant, I'm asking them. So it happens. I want to tell a very funny thing. After 50 years of joining Tata, I went back to Tata again last month in Pune. And I stood in front of the assembly line. I always, though I'm a computer engineer, I love mechanical engineering. You know, I learned how to drive a truck in those days, forklift, all those things I used to drive. Because that is the real engineering. I always tell, you know, this, oh, ma'am, you should excuse me, your computer science and all is nice. It's dumb nahi hai. Dumb hai, civil and mechanical. They are basic engineering. Okay, apart from that, though I am a computer person, but my love for all these things is because there is a basic engineering. So I went there and I went to the assembly line. I saw 300 girls. All were working on the assembly line, manufacturing cars. Okay? Beautiful assembly line, you should go. As a mechanical engineer, you will really enjoy. I looked at the whole assembly line, there was not a single man out there. I said, how many men are working? He said, 0. And suddenly I had tears. I entered in 1974 in a shop floor and people booed. You know, they said, oh, women have come, company will not work well, profit will come back, loss, this, that. Nobody will talk to me. I'm used to people not talking to me, I think. That may be the reason I talk too much. After, you know, if somebody would have told me, I would not have bothered. But in my own life, after 50 years, the assembly line was full of girls. I tried seeing that it was worth it to write to Tata. It was worth it to fight. It was worth life well lived. The girls cried. They said, ma'am, you put your first step in and so that we could, and open the door so that we could come in. It was a very nice experience. I said, 10 minutes, don't disturb me. I just want to take a stool and sit down there. Just enjoy girls doing an assembly line of cars, which all men drive.
Last question, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Anish Gupta. Last question.
Ma'am, no, it's okay, madam. Then let me take 3-4 questions. Because I don't come often to Chandigarh.
Can I just ask one last question?
Right. They give it to her. Give first to her. Short. So, you know, it's not that, you know, it may be late for me for some other work. Shanaika, what time we have dinner? Then officially they have to say like that, otherwise it goes 3 hours. But I will manage always that one. I will take under 4-5 questions, no problem, because it's fine, it's fine. Yes, better.
I've shown a video of books and I've always considered like role models.
Yeah.
I'm a student from political science department. My name is Danish. I have a very simple question to ask.
Simple questions are at times very difficult to answer.
As a young student, as a young girl, growing up in the society, you also have members of your family who are now actively
Definitely, I will not answer this because I'm not good at politics. In my life, what you see, you get that. I will never talk anything at the back. Like Punjab University, I liked it. Open heart, I am also open. What I hardly like. What you see me, you get the same thing. Sudha, Murty, what you see here, and somewhere else, something else is not there. I don't understand politics. It is not my cup of tea. And what leaders should do, I don't even advise because every leader knows what they should do. I know what I want to do. So that much I can do. What other people do, how do I do? Somebody may like to make money, somebody may like to have power, somebody may like to have something else. So what is relevant to me, what I appreciate, that experience only I can tell. And I'm not Bhagavan Buddha or a person who can guide a light to the whole generation. No, I'm a very ordinary person like all of you. Nothing special about me. So I live a small. What I know in my experience is only authentic. The rest are not authentic. So I can't talk.
But now you can do one thing more. You can do one thing more. Your experiences become the teachings. And more than that, your experience becomes your teachings. What do you do some people to us? Writing, how to turn experience into teaching?
For that, you should be a first teacher, good teacher. Second thing, you should use simple language. Third thing, you should be very honest when you tell. Like, it's not a Hindi movie, 3 hours, everything will be over. It won't be. So, what I believe in, I only talk that. What I don't believe, I don't talk.
It's an honor to meet you, ma'am. I'm Manish Gupta, past chairperson of CI Chandigarh from the corporate world. And all of us, we have ups and downs in our life every day. So success we enjoy, failure we don't enjoy. How do you teach the youngster, especially about the failures, how to overcome them? Because nowadays, among the youngster, even in children and in the subordinates, the values of depression and suicides have risen. Any viewpoints of yours, ma'am?
Yeah, see, number one, whenever I fail or when I did not do well or my children did not do well, okay, I used to tell them, I never insisted my children should get a first rank because I got a first rank. No. Nothing is hereditary other than diabetes and blood pressure. Just because their father is an entrepreneur that they should become entrepreneur, no. Every child should run their own marathon on their own legs. Not on father, kanda, nice. Second thing is, whenever children fail or don't do well, of course they will feel bad. And today the competition is heavy. Unlike olden times, there was a very heavy competition. You can tell children, look, do your level best. Don't comparison the root cause of misery. I've seen parents telling, look at neighbors. I said, why should I look at neighbors? I said, don't look at neighbors. Look at neighbor's child has done 99% and you have scored 98. So, I never compare them with anybody. I told them, do well. Put your hard work. Most important thing in life is, you may lose this battle, but you should win the war. You may lose this battle. Hello. You will win the war because there are so many wars in life. There are so many battles out there. You know, all married women, I tell you, when you have to disagree with your husband, no? Choose your battles. Not every time you should win. Allow him to win sometimes. Which are important for you. No. Simple one, let him win. You keep quiet. If you want to win all the time, actually you lose. Okay, remember that. You lose children same way. Every time you score, you got 96%, 94%. Then they become hardened and they don't study. So you tell them, beta, this is, you may lose, but next time you do better. I will help you out. Tell me anything you can do. Don't compare with anybody. Okay? Do your level best. Same thing with the colleagues. You try. Failures are part of success. Repeated success makes a person arrogant. Repeated success makes a person arrogant. Oh, I know everything. Nobody is bigger than me. Repeated failures makes a person diffident. A good amount of success, a fair amount of failures are needed to become a strong person. You must have read Rudyard Kipling's poem, if only I will call you my son, you are a man. When everyone is sleeping, you are awake. When everybody is telling you are going down, and if it is the right cause, you should read the beautiful poem, Rudyard Kipling's If. Okay. That's the way I have followed.
Madam, what I have observed, false egos are increasing day by day into the children. And sometimes parents also support these things, that children are having false egos. You have half answered about my half question, that when they get 92%, even they tell their peer group that we have 94%. And even parents also support them in these activities, that when they are telling lies to their peer group, even with 92%, 90%, they are not happy. They try to exaggerate that we have got 94%. Due to this condition, I may have...
I got your point.
Yes, this.
If parents lie, don't expect children will do better. That's what happens. Role models are not Sudha Murty or Narayan Murty. We are not role models. The real role models for children are parents. You lie, children. Okay? Yes. Yes, better.
Ma'am.
No, this one. Are you a student?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a student.
What do you study?
Ma'am, I'm a 9th grade student.
Yeah, they are my clients. All youngsters are my clients. On the lighter side, all youngsters are my clients. They make me rich and famous because they buy my books. I get my royalty. On the sunny side, on the lighter side. Yes, better. Ask question.
Ma'am, I want to ask you that how do you maintain patience and consistency in your life, and what are your views about Indian education? Right?
Education and all I won't talk. There is a education ministry there. What are my views on what?
And peace, the patience.
Don't get nervous. Tell me what is there. I won't get upset. I won't give you marks.
Basically, I want to ask you the tips for patience and consistency.
Patience you learn. You have to work hard for life. You don't come by birth. But sit down, sit. By birth you won't get patience. I hardly get upset because I understand, take people as they are, not what you want, you meet such people. People are different, take it that way. Some people are fast, some people are slow, some people are sharp, some people are not, some people are beautiful. Mother Earth has many diamonds. Have patience. And this generation that is disappearing because parents are also changed. Computer is also there. Expectations are high. Very high competition, making life everyone's life miserable. Allow some time to breathe. Study well, but have patience. Parents should have patience. And you children also should have patience. That's okay. Life is not like press the button and you get the results. It won't happen. Life is not computer. Even the first class students have been miserably failing in life. I have seen people who have done ordinary second class, they have done exceedingly well in life. I have seen the most beautiful ladies marrying somewhere and regretting for that. People who are happily married may not be very good looking, also very happy in life. Life is unpredictable. There is no formula in life for happiness, for best education, the best job, best husband. There is nothing like that. Life is unpredictable. As a teacher, man, you have to prepare your students. The storm will come and they should pass through that. The waves are there in the sea. Okay, you can't stop the sea, wave in the sea. You should tell our children, our kids, our students how to ride the waves. So parents, teach your children apart from education, your A plus B plus C. Difficulties, how to pass difficulties, how to have patience, and how to balance life. That is the real education, apart from academic education.
Made a portrait of Sudha ma'am. Is she sitting in the audience?
Yes, Beta. Do I look very beautiful? Like Aishwarya Rai? No? In Ponniyin Selvan, anyone has seen PSU? Yes or no?
I don't disturb the question answer session, but since you have given us a little bit more time.
It's okay, about children, See, I was telling, ma'am, that many children, they want to ask me questions. I may not be able to answer, but the very fact I could touch, they will remember in their life. If I don't do that, they will also remember I did not even give them. Yes. Yeah? Like what is that? Stand up.
Very good evening, ma'am.
From the back, I want.
One question from the back, please. The boy in black has been
Who motivates you to be a social worker?
Who motivated or who motivates? Both are different. They both are different.
Whom?
Motivated or motivate? Both.
आप जो सोशल वर्क कर रहे हैं आपको किसने ज़्यादा मोटिवेट किया कि आप सोशल वर्क की तरफ आए?
Motivated. Okay. My daughter. I've written on that actually. Amma, what's your duty? She asked me. She was 15 years old and I was 45 years old. Now people know when did I get my baby by that. And she was reading for blind children in Bangalore. There's a Ramana Maharishi Academy for blind. There she used to read for blind children. On her own, she would cycle there, go and sit and read. And one day she came back and it was all true stories. She came back and told me, Amma, I have a student by the name Anand Sharma who got admission at St. Joseph, not St. Stephen College in Delhi. And he is economically weaker and somebody should sponsor him. I was head of the Department of Computer Science, so setting the question paper, So in question paper setting, you really take too much time. I'm sure all teachers agree. You should not come last time, it should not be, and you should know the answer first, all those things, Otherwise you have to give a great marks, etc. So I was very busy and I told her, Akshata, you can sponsor. She said, Amma, you never give me 2 rupees in hand. I never gave my children, what is this, pocket money. Never gave. What is pocket money? What do you want? So you never give money. And we don't celebrate birthdays in a big way in our family. Because I feel it's a waste. You are not Rama, you are not Krishna, you are not Guru Nanak. You are an ordinary human being. Every year, aata hai, jata hai, uski kya. My God, I think some families, birthday is a big celebration. Husband didn't turn up, wedding anniversary. We don't even know which day wedding anniversary is coming. Wedding anniversary, husband should bring a big gift. Someone told me every year my husband has to give me that many saris as many wedding anniversary. That means first one, 10th wedding anniversary, 10, 55. I said, do you wear that money? She said, no, it's not important, but let him spend that money. Maybe 1 or 2 she will give me also. So she knew that we don't celebrate birthdays in a big way. Only samosa and one of these pat. In those days, fruity used to come. Fruity and samosa is birthday. She said, Amma, you are 45 years old. And I always allowed my children to talk openly, like Punjab University. It should be open. Kullam kulla. She said, Amma, you are 45 years old. What is your aim in life? And if you have enough resources, intelligence, to some extent. And if you don't do social work, then you don't have a right to do social work. And she was upset, she went away. I went to university to set the question paper. As usual, ma'am, meeting was postponed. Okay? I sat in a big hall with the fan on and I thought, what is my aim in life? It is not 15 years daughter reminding me, but I myself wanted to know what is my aim in life. First 23 years I worked hard for my graduation, showing boys that we are as good as, maybe better than boys. How to beat boys in engineering. Then helped husband to build Infosys. Now Infosys on its own I don't have to worry about my rank. What's my aim in life? Is it glamour? Is it that go every day one country, see one every day one movie? Oh, I can see one day movie, that's not a problem. Every day I can see movie. But what is my aim in life? I went on thinking 8 days about that. Then I realized that I should do social work, which I used to do partially, but full time, dedicating my life for the people. Then I went to the department and told that I want to resign and I want to work. They said, no ma'am, we don't want to lose you. Maybe they didn't have another hand, I suppose. You come and teach part-time, but once a week I'll take only 3 hours. So I started Infosys Foundation in 1996. Akshata is my first guru who motivated me to start Infosys Foundation. And it is not unusual, because in our family it's a characteristic. I think youngsters will teach elderly people. I taught my grandmother, my daughter taught me.
Last question from the young boy at the back.
No, 1 minute. It is a half story. Other half is what motivates me now. That is the old story, so saal pehle. Okay, now, poor people motivate me. When I look at poor people, I always feel a daughter of a school teacher, a daughter of a professor, a granddaughter of a school teacher. My grandfather was a high school teacher. My father-in-law was a high school teacher. Okay, a daughter-in-law of a high school teacher. Why God chose Murty and me to give this kind of a respect and money in the society? What is the reason behind that? The reason is we should help poor people, and that motivates me. Even at this stage, travel, talk and care, because it is not needed for me. I can sit at home, but every day morning when I get up, I say, I have a duty towards my society, my poor people of my country, and that is my motivation at this stage. Bhujana Hitaya, Bhujana Sukhaya. Yeah, ultimately.
Good evening, ma'am.
Bless us.
He's standing for a very long time.
First of all, a big thank you to Infosys, because I am one of the recipients of a fellowship from Infosys Science Foundation. So a big thank you.
Yeah.
And
what are you doing better?
I'm a physics student.
You are a physics student?
Yes.
Okay. What subject in physics?
Sorry, ma'am?
What is your specialization in physics?
Ma'am, right now I'll be going for a project in quantum computing application in physics at ISA Kolkata. And the question from my side is, like, nowadays we hear a lot of news about, as a nation and as a youth of a nation, we are doing great works in whether it be sciences, whether it be medical field or IT sector or startup business, anything it be, the growth is great. And rather than having a very less amount of resources as compared to big nations, the growth we're getting, the value we're getting out is great. So do you think that in India, that value we're getting, there's a contribution to that because of our Indian home values that we learn? What is the contribution of the home values that makes us such great in investing a little and we're getting a great output? So what's your opinion on that?
Great output is possible because we have great atmosphere now, great infrastructure and more exposure. I'm born in 1950. So I've seen after independence how we were there to what we are today. So we have a lot more wealth today in the country. And we have a lot more resources compared to what it was in time of independence. So when there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of people actually, if you do good work, money is not a problem today. If you do good work. Like in philosophy I will tell you, in my own field. If you are doing good work and if people know that you are not corrupt, You get money, everybody gives you money. When I was working with a tsunami or a drought, people come in the bag and they bring money. I said, no, I don't have time, I don't want cash. They said, no ma'am, it's a cash money, you take it. I said, I'll give you receipt. No, we don't want receipt. People come and give you money if you do good work. Today India is wealthy, becoming wealthy, and lot more opportunities are there. We are globally connected. And I've written an article on that, I don't remember where, one of my books, that how software, one of the reasons I can tell, only software I can tell, the rest I don't have data. When we started in Infosys in 1981, we used to have a tape drive, punch cards, then we have to send the source code, etc. Today, we are as good as any other country in the West, and Bangalore has become a verb, Bangalore. It's why it is not because of one person, set of youngsters like you people, set of good leaders, including Narayan Murty, Azim Prince, there are many are there, who have shown, staying in India, you can progress. You can earn money legally, ethically in the right way. Okay? And this atmosphere has made youngsters to start a new adventure, new entrepreneurs, new way of thinking. So that is the reason we are doing better. Thank you.
Very briefly, ma'am. Ma'am, this is Bharti. Ma'am, I just want to know that as a social worker, we really face the challenges. And so as a young, we lots of have power and like we can contribute to the society. So ma'am, I really want to know that you can give tips to us, to youngsters, to all, that how can we contribute to the society and what are the challenges that actually occurs and really that phase. So
what age? It depends on what age. Suppose you are 20 years old and you want to do social work. I will tell them, don't do immediately. To finish your degree, you take up a job. Okay, in a job you learn plus minus. Somebody will. It is not like you go to a job and boss will say you are doing social work. Oh, fantastic! I will give you. Nobody will give you money. Raising money in social work is not easy job. Okay, so first you should be economically independent. I prefer one should start. This is my opinion. After a certain age in life, you have to see success and failures, and economically should be independent. Start by the time you realize what exactly is the problem. By the time you learn the problem, today you will not be able to assess. At 2025, you will not be able to assess the problem. There are exceptions are there. Baba Amdev was exception. Mother Teresa was exception. Exceptions are not normal. Normal people don't start when you are 20. Okay, maybe part-time you do 1 hour, 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week, go to Basti, teach them English. English is very important. Actually, people fail in English. And mathematics, you can do side business, side things. But ultimately, what you want to do is after a certain age. It is not like 75, but around 30, 35, by the time you know what exactly you want. Difficulty number one is money. People don't give money. Okay, difficulty is one. Second thing, when you get money, you should know how to spend that money. There are a lot of lessons are there. Number two, you should know exit policies. You should identify people. You should assess person. For that, you require a strong common sense. To get common sense, you have to work hard. You have to accept failure. Yeah? So, your main challenge is money and assessing people, assessing the project. I think we can conclude. So thank you very much. You are a wonderful person.
C.P. Snow wrote this article. He was both a novelist and a professor of physical chemistry. And he wrote an article called Two Cultures, in which he said that the gulf between science and literature, science and liberal arts could not be bridged. And when I was listening to Dr. Sudha Murty, and when I read about her life, I thought that here was this person who had such enormous versatility that she managed to break the boundaries between engineering and writing, literature, and on the other hand, between business and philanthropy. But today, after this interaction with all of you, I have also found out that she is such a polyglot that she is even a psychologist and a psychoanalyst.
Next job.
Next job, and she does it with so much felicity. Thank you very much, Dr. Sudha Murty. Such a pleasure having you.
I'm both all the particularly you too. Don't address me Dr. Sudha Murty because mine is all honorary doctorate. I'm not working hard like this. By talking, I'm getting doctorate. So I'm only Sudha Murty. Which is not mine, I should not take it. Then I feel like a thief, no? Which is not mine, I should not take. People who work hard, 5 years, with the guide, fight, accept all those things, appear for the viva, then write, submit your thesis, you put your sweat in that, then you get your PhD. Mine is only talking. So I don't. Yeah, that's fine. But still, the honor should go to doctor. Doctor honor should go to only those people who put 5 years in the university campus.
That's the honesty.
You will give me honorary doctorate because I'm an honorary person and I should not be addressed as a doctor.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an absorbing and engrossing session. And you have rightly said some very good tips like sincerity, compassion, introspection, hard work, accepting imperfections, accepting realities and circumstances in life are going to make your life much better. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I request you to kindly release the book entitled Human Rights and Social Responsibility and Reflection by Dr. Gaurav Gaur. So I request Dr. Gaurav Gaur to be on the stage. And kindly, ma'am, please do the honors. Mr. Gaurav. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request my co-host, Mr. Anju Suri, Dean Faculty of Arts and Professor of History, to propose the vote form. Thanks.
Padma Bhushan Awardee, Honorable Professor Renu Beg, Professor Rumina Sethi, Dean of University Instruction, Professor Anupama Sharma, Dean Alumni Relations, Professor Ashutosh, esteemed members of media, dear researchers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate the zeal of enthusiasm of the audience. We all want that the session should continue till the evening or maybe till tomorrow. But the time constraint and our compulsions sincerest and deepest gratitude to Madam Sudha Murty, the distinguished chief guest, for being here for this conversation and interactive session with the audience today. Ma'am, your life journey, marked by vivid experiences of exhilarations and excitement, fear and defiance, impart a lot of inspiration to all of us. Ma'am, we are spellbound by your modesty, generosity, humility, which is coupled with the high intellectual ability of yourselves, and this makes you the most endearing personality. Ma'am, your enthusiastic work of philanthropy and zeal for creating awareness to lend heart of humanity are the life learning lessons for one and all. You inspire us as we find in you at once a prolific and passionate writer, a bright and sharp technocrat, an eager and energetic philanthropist, an ardent and fervent educationist. Listening and interacting with you has truly been an honor and an absolute delight for all of us. We are highly grateful to you, ma'am, for having spared your valuable time out of your hectic schedule for today's event and gracing the occasion with your illustrious presence and participation. Our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Renuvi, deserves a big thanks for providing us the most suitable environs to carry out the academic pursuits with so much of ease and interest. She has been our motivation for the faculty as well as for the students. Thank you, ma'am, for your encouragement and support at every step. With the instructions for her indomitable spirit and energy in hosting the event today. Your efforts are sincerely acknowledged, ma'am. Thank you all for being here and making this function a great success for all of us. Thank you for your participation and the presence, and we look forward to meeting you again for such occasions in the future too. Thank you. So the waiting, kindly join us for the cup of tea.